YouTube. I've been watching quite a few of you all on here about how you've been coping with your miscarriage story and after loss, and I thought that I would, to help me maybe try and get over it. Not totally, I don't think I'll ever get over it, but to help me I thought I would talk about my story. So first of all, it was back in June the 15th, I got my BFP and I was so over the moon. We were so excited. We actually told my parents, and my husband told his mum, and it was just so exciting. We were just so thrilled. And then it was my youngest son's 4th birthday in the beginning of July, and I started having a few spots, so I got a bit worried, so I called the doctor and was sent in for a scan, and which obviously was absolutely terrifying. We had the scan and there was still a baby there, and we saw his or her flicking heart, and it was just so cute. There he is. My husband nicknamed him or her. He called it Bean. So we were really pleased. We were able to not worry so much. I think because we saw the flicking heart, it really reassured us. And we were also, I was dated, and I was put back 5 days. So I think roughly it was just before 6 weeks, and then it carried on, and I started getting morning sickness really bad, to the point where I wasn't able to eat anything. But I spoke to the doctor, and the doctor gave me some anti-sickness tablets, which were fine. I was reassured to say that they were all safe and everything. We carried on, and August 15th came. We were so excited for the 12-week scan. I was still being sick. I was still unable to cook certain foods because I'd gone off the smell, and there was no signs of, there was no cramping, there was no blood, there was nothing, absolutely nothing wrong. And we were sitting in the waiting room, and we were so excited. And so on the actual date, it was August the 15th, and so it was exactly 2 months after I'd found out. We went into the room, and when we saw our baby on the screen, and I looked at my husband. I turned around, and I jokingly said, "Oh, it must be asleep," because I remember with my other two, the little baby was all wriggling around. And the lady doing the scanner lady, she was looking at the screen, and she was zooming in, and she was doing some things, and I looked at my husband and I said, I can't see there's no like flicky heartbeat, like in a whisper. So he understood what I said, but I kind of didn't want to jinx it, I suppose. I just didn't want that to be true. And the lady turned around to me and said, I can't see a heartbeat. And I just remember sitting up go, no! And these tears were just rolling down my face, and I was just like, no, this cannot be happening. There's no, I've not had any signs. Why would it? Just can't be true. But I did ask for a picture. So I do have a picture of my baby. He or she, Bean, as my husband calls him, or her, died 4 days before. It was measured at 11 weeks and 4 days. So 3 days before even. And on that actual day, I was 12 weeks. So it was very sad. We were taken into a room and made sure that there was no pregnant people. As I walked out of the room, we were put into a special, like one of those grieving rooms. I don't know what, for people who get given sad news, I suppose. And the lady who we saw the first scan, the early pregnancy lady, we spoke to her again, and she was really, really good. She just sat there and she said, if I wanted to sit there and cry all day, she would be fine to sit with me. She was so lovely. But my husband and I just decided we were going to go and visit my mum. We needed to be away. My mum lives 300 miles away, so we decided to just get in the car and go. The hospital kept in contact. They said that they contacted the hospital down at my mum's, where my mum lives, to say that we were going to be there, and if I needed to go, was it okay for me to go to the mother and baby unit or something like that, the maternity place. So the next day she called me, and I started bleeding. She called me to see how I was, and I told her about the bleeding. And she gave me some options. I could have let it do it naturally, which could have taken up to 2 weeks. I could go in for the surgical procedure for an ERPC, or I could take 2 tablets over 2 days. I decided that I was going to go for the surgical one, the ERPC. And she was really, really good. She phoned, on the phone she said that she'd contacted the hospital down at where my mum is, and she booked it all for me, and that I would go in the next day and have it done. And then on 3 days later, on the Thursday, we went in I found out on the Monday, it all happened on the Monday. On the Thursday, I went into the hospital. I was re-scanned to make sure that they hadn't mistaken it. And I saw the doctor who actually recognised me. He was the doctor that I saw when I had both of my other children. So he said he was sorry that he had to see me again in these circumstances. And it was all sorted, and I went down. It was, I think, 15 minutes or 20 minutes worth of operation. There was a lot of waiting, and me and my husband, we sat and waited for a long time in the morning. And I about 10 minutes before I had to go down, I was just sobbing my heart out. And I walked up to the theatre, sobbing, absolutely sobbing, and the nurse, she gave me a big hug, and it just felt like it was all, even though I knew that the baby inside me was dead, it was all so final. I'd had one lot of bleeding a couple of days before, and there wasn't a lot, so it was, my body was obviously just sort of telling me, oh, that the baby that I was carrying wasn't alive anymore. Anyway, I laid on the theatre table and I was sobbing my heart out, and I woke up and I was sobbing my heart out, and my mum came after and picked me up, and it was just horrible. And even now I still just sort of find myself sitting down and absolutely sobbing. Yeah, it's not really a nice story to tell, but I'm hoping that it will almost put a closure to that bad part of me, the bad history. I don't know the word to say. But that baby, we've got its pictures here, and there will always, they're in my book and in my my diary, and I'll never ever forget it. And on the due date, I know it's going to be absolutely devastating. I know I'll probably sob my heart out on the day that he or she was due, but I know that I've got to be strong, and I've got to. My two boys have seen me cry enough, and over the last few weeks, they're wondering why I'm so upset. So I've got to be strong. I've got to get on. Even though it was quite some time now. It happened all in August, and it's now October. You know, I've got to be strong now. I've got to look forward to the future and stop dwelling. Maybe dwelling isn't the right word. But I've got to think that it must have happened. It happened for a reason, obviously. Anyway, I think we do want to TTC soon, and hopefully I will be back and doing TTC videos as well. I'm not sure when, but we will. I will be, I think. Anyway, I hope everybody is good, and that's my story. Bye.